All right, good morning, all. Welcome in to the coffee room with John from ProCraps. Here we are on Casino Gaming TV on a Tuesday. It's a Trendy Tuesday, so you'll notice that every day we've got the titles of our videos are kind of Math Monday, Trendy Tuesday. I'm going to try and do the paycheck a different way every day. So instead of just kind of doing the drawdown every morning and kind of it being boring for you all, I thought we'd take each day and sort of do it a different way, and maybe we hit on different play styles that may resonate with you. So we may have a lower win percentage than we did before. The drawdown has been so far the best way to do this, but by showing different things, it's a little more fun, a little more entertaining, I think, and also gives you a little bit of lens on like, hey, rooting for your favorite play style. So today, it's a trendy day, so you'll see here as I change over what the plan's going to be. Now, I will not be running the roll tracker today. I packed my iPad up and taken off for Vegas in a day, so my iPad's charging and packed up. So just no crap, see, just gonna watch me do this thing, and here we go. So I'm gonna take the $5,000, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take basically 5 blacks, and I'm gonna play the pass line for $100. We're gonna try and catch a little parlay on the pass line. We'll try and catch a little streak. Now, it may only be one shooter here, so we don't know what's gonna happen. So we're gonna trend bet the pass line. What I mean by that is catch a streak. I don't believe in trends, right? I don't think, unless your dice are creating the trend by the way you're throwing it, there's no such thing as a trend. There are, however, streaks, and there are variants, and numbers will catch, right, as you're in pockets. So here's what we're gonna do. We'll take the other $400, and we're gonna open the box. And I'm gonna go open the box 320. So I'll take the $400, I'll get 80 change, and we'll go 320 across in the box minus whatever the point is. So I'm going to go ahead and get the box set up right now at 320 across. What's going to end up happening here is this. 320. Some number is going to be the point. I'll pull that number down with the 50 or 60 bucks from that number plus the 80 bucks in my rack. I'm going to go back out there and kind of level things off. So it'll probably end up being about another $100 on the inside, most likely, but we'll see. Here we go. I'm going to try and get every number to pay $100, ideally. So let's come on out. Let's play it hard. Again, we're going to look for the pass line to have 4 parlays if we get it real quick. If not, we're going to hammer these numbers. I'm going to play up here, tier pressure style. I'm going to do big pressing on the numbers that hit today. We're not going to run. We're not going to regress. We're just going to try and hammer what's happening up top. Here we go. Coming on out. Wish me some luck. Hopefully you'll like the screens today too. Remember yesterday I did the white background on the screens. I changed them back to a black background with that same red border. So things should look a little nicer today. I hope a little easier on the eyes. Here we go. Coming out. Oh, that was not a great throw. My stick is stuck. Hold on one second. What do we have here? We have a 2, and where's the other? Oh, 2, 3. It's a 5. Sweet. All right, our point's going to be 5. Move that puck over. Now, I'll take the 5 down. I'll take the money from my rack. I'm going to make the 6 and 8 look like 90 each. Okay. The 9 looks like 75. I need to get some change here. And there we go. Now everything pays me $100. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and full press a number that hits. Everything pays 100. 4, 10 pay 100 for 2. 6, 8, 5, 9 pay 105. Pass line, of course, pays 100. And here we go. Let's create a trend, or let's create a setter of something repeating, so we can parlay a couple of wins here and get our paycheck that way. It's going to take good shooting today. We're all right side, so I need good shooting from the right side. Tomorrow, Wednesday, will be a hybrid day, hybrid hump day, right? There's a 1, 2, 3, ace deuce. Does nothing again. Different play style every day is kind of the plan. Having some fun. Here we go. That looks like 11 yes. We've hit both the 3 and the 11 now, right? We've hit the insides, right? Give me anything in the box, dude. Anything in the box. We don't care what number it's going to be. Any box number will be fine. Come on. Otherwise, we're burning 500 bucks at a time. You'll see if that ends up happening, we have to talk about all that. There's a 3. My God. Can we get anything? 3 horn numbers in a row. 3 horns in a row because Johnny can't figure it out. Here we go. Come on. Come on, dude. That looks like a 6 hard. All right, there we go. 3 and a 3. Hard 6. Finally a number. Okay, it pays 105. 105 bucks. Okay. Now let's do a major press. We'll go to 180 with it, right? So 175, 180. We'll go all the way up, take the 10 bucks back. Okay. Matter of fact, now we'll keep the reds. We'll keep the reds. Okay. We're gonna again full press something. Let's try and get something to repeat. If a box number happens to repeat, that's going to be great for us. If the pass line is what it is, that's great too. If we do get a repeat, we'll talk about it. Okay, we'll talk about coming down. What I'm really wanting to do here is get 3 hits up top if I can. Here we go. That looks like a 6, a repeater on the 6, a 4, and a 2. That's awesome. That pays $210. Okay, and again, we're gonna full press it. I'm not gonna screw around. 360 bucks on that 6. Okay, we'll take a little bit of change back. Okay, we're gonna full press until we get our 3rd box number, and then we're out of Dodge. We'll come back. We'll see where we land if that happens. Hopefully it's a 6, right? Here we go. Here we go. I'm just gonna hammer what's happening. 5, 5, there's a 10. That's our 3rd box hit. It's 100 bucks in that 10. Okay, 100 for 2 because it's $50 bet. 100 for 2, so I'll take 3 change on the VIG payment. Okay, now if I bring this back to where I started, okay, which was 90 bucks. I'll put the 6 back at 90. Off the table is coming 400 bucks. Okay, that is our paycheck. Okay, that's our paycheck. We made 400 bucks on the shooter. Now I still have the 100 bucks out here at risk on the pass line. Okay, we do still need another hit to lock that one in. Okay, or just let the 5 ride itself out. But if I pull the 320 back, we're going to be at a $400 profit here. So far we have done our job. I'm going to go ahead and leave the bets up there. One more hit to cover the pass line, and then I'm pulling it all down. Okay, this may be the dumbest thing I do all week long, right? Leaving them up there for one more hit, but we need to cover the pass line to lock in the 400. We don't lock in the 400, we lose the pass line. We have to go back out for the whole thing again anyway. So here we go. Let's do it now. While we're throwing, we'll do it now. Here we go. And there's a hard 10. Bam. 5, 5, hard 10. Again, it's for 2. It's 100. Okay. That makes 500 bucks in profit. We'll pull it all down. Let that 5 ride itself out. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and color all this mess up. Sometimes your paycheck comes to you quickly. Sometimes you got to work for it. 1, 2, 3, $410. Let's take 4 blacks for that. Alrighty, back to the rack. That goes. I'll color all this up in a minute. Let's let that 5 resolve itself. Good or bad, we'll resolve the 5. Because we're doing some trend work here, let's take our reds and throw them in the field. And if we can catch a little field parlay while we're riding this thing out to the end, that'd be nice. Let's see if we can't get lucky there in the field while we're letting the thing ride out. We'll trend bet the field for a minute and see what happens. Here we go. Let's catch a little field streak and throw a 5. If I throw a 5 to lose the field, I'm fine. Ah, darn it. 6-1. I'm sorry, 5-1. Field streak's not going to happen because our only $10 was in there. It's okay. It was good to burn it. I'm not going to break a black chip to stay in the field, but would have been cool to see 4 of those in a row, huh? Let's go pass line. What do you say? What do you say, 5? How about a 4-1? There's an 8, 6, 2. That was my set, by the way. The 6-2 up was my set. They both stayed. They both stayed. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody that's what happened. Midnight. It's a midnight. I think that's, we've hit the 5, 6, 8, 10, 3, 11, 12. We have not hit a 9, the 4, or the 2 yet. If I'm in my head, I'm trying to remember what happened here. So I think that's where we are. Come on, Dare Duty. Let's get it done. 5. Look at that. Look at us go. It's the 5. That's the pass line. Now, that is the $500. If I take all this and color this up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's $100 extra. If I take those two as purples, check it out. Right, there's the purples. My rack is complete. This $500 is my goal. I have $101 left over. Now, we were talking about this yesterday. I know Joe mentioned it too. What do you do here, right? What do you do here? You've got your goal. You got some excess. You can play with all the excess, or what I would do is this. I break it in half, right? I'm going to keep half as excess. We're bringing $550 home today. I'll take the $50 that's out there, and we'll do something with it. Let's do evens. We can do just the even numbers, right? There's 10, 20, 30, 40. $44 with 6 change, okay? With that 6 change, let's get the hard 6, hard 8, and the hard 10. We'll leave the 4 clean, right? Puck is off. We'll come out. We'll roll out that $50. If that $50 turns into something fantastic, we'll take half of our excess and play it, half of our excess and keep it. And I'm going to keep that same pattern going until I'm done. Okay, well, if we 7 out, fine. If not, we'll take and split our profits between playing and keeping. And this is kind of what Dan was talking about yesterday about when do you go to cage, when do you stay in? There's a hard 4 for the point. That's fine. We stay in as long as we can, but being smart about it, right? We'd be smart about it. That's the thing I would stress to you. Here we go. Oh, God. Big old kiss. That's a 9, 6, and a tree. So we're not on and on. We're playing just the evens. Just the evens. Alrighty, here we go. That is a 7. So there it is. That's going to end the whole thing. We gave it a shot. We gave our $50 a chance to win. And you might say, hey, John threw $50 in the garbage can. He did, right? But there are days where that $50, and you've seen me do it, I've turned that 50 or $60 into 700. It just depends on the shooter. But I did keep half of it. So I got 551 today as my profit. So let's go ahead and type that in. Let's get back over to the screen where I can do that, and then we'll talk for a little bit here. I got a kind of a short show planned for today because, let's see. Let's actually go here. I'm going to go to the screen where we can see it. We're going to type it in real quick. Let's go down here. Oh, I got to go here. All the way to the bottom. Okay, today, 7th. This was the daily paycheck. Like the old days here, right? Daily paycheck. Today we did tier pressure. But it would have been great to have had that 6 be the one that hit for the money, right? $5,000 in. Whoop. Hold on a second. I lost my mouse. In for 5,000, out for 55.51 from the DPC winnings, and it was easy today. Could have been ugly, but today was easy. We'll end that session there, and we'll go ahead and refresh the screen. Let's refresh. I want to see where we are. Totals. I got to type the totals into the other app too, so you can see it all. There's the daily paycheck. There is the DPC. And it looks like we are 9-3. Is that right? That can't be right. 9 and should be 10-3. Did I mess up today's tier pressure? 10, 5,000. We should be 10-3, not 9. Anyway, I was 9-3 yesterday. Not whatever. Let's go back over here. Let's celebrate. We'll come back in. We'll start yakking a little bit about stuff, and then we'll let you go. let's get this over here. I gotta make it a little bit smaller. Hold on one second. I gotta, if this doesn't work here, oh no. There we go. All right. Sorry, I guess I gotta move things around so I can see. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Let's get at it here. What's happening in chat? Anything good in chat so far? Just a bunch of people say good morning. Let's just say good morning. Let's go good morning. Let's see. We got Nemo here. We got Dice Dr. Dan is here. We got Louie here again. Good morning. How you doing, man? Who else? Louie had a good coffee run at Harris. Good. No time to relax with your coffee. To little. There you go. Eddie's here. Mike, I haven't seen Eddie in forever. Good morning, man. Eddie was like, we were talking about this the other day, actually. I'm bringing back the Friday night fights. And I think you won that a couple times, right? I think you were one of the first ever competitors on that show that wasn't a YouTube person, right? Most of our competitors at the beginning was us playing each other. You may be the first person that wasn't a YouTuber that came in, and that's actually really cool. So yeah, good to see you back here, dude. All right, what else we got here? Who else came to say hello to us? Dan's here, Ian's here. Oh, hey Ian, good morning to all your friends. And Mid-Atlantic Crap says good morning. Yeah, so everybody's doing well. Mad Dog, I haven't seen Mad Dog in a while. This is good. It's like the old crew is back, man. This is cool. Mark the Mad Hatter is here. This is cool, man. Overthinking Craps on a flea flicker journey. So you know this, right? We can talk about it if you want to in the Daily Dose of DI segment today, but there's two versions of that throw. And I don't know if Gargoyle's told you this. There's the flea flicker version, and there's the chopper version, right? There's two ways to throw that stacked spin or toss. And one of them is literally a flick of the fingers and the dice spin really fast. They say pretty low. They land about a foot or so from the back wall and they kind of flea hop into the back wall. There's the higher arc, which is going to be about as high as the rail, and slower spin that lands closer to the back wall. That's what I throw. From the stick right one, I throw the chopper. From stick left one, it's more of a flea flicker. I like to throw them harder from that side, softer from this side. Two versions of it. They work differently. You'll see the dice action is different on different surfaces and different distances, but you're doing two different things there. And again, it's all a comfort thing, right? If you're, for me, easier to throw that way from this side. It just feels more natural. And again, to me, the dice throwing part of this whole thing, it's all about feeling comfortable. Results be damned, right? It's all about comfort level, like how I want to feel when I throw, the rhythm that I get into. So yeah, keep on it, man. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna bring it back for sure. I know G. I talked to G actually. He was telling me about his conversation with you. So yeah, G's a great guy. G will help you in a lot of ways. So good. I'm glad you guys are connected, which is really cool. All right, let's jump into the live show here. Now you'll notice that I went back. I told you yesterday we had the white background. Today it's the red background. Looks a little better now, I think. Anyway, so on the screen you'll see a couple things, right? One is going to be reminders, right? If you've got questions, drop me a question, right? You can do a Q in front of it in the chat. I'll filter it towards the end of the show with I'll look for Qs and I'll answer your questions if you want to. You can put a PC in front of it too. Those are the things that kind of highlight. So I can, you guys can all chatter as you want to, but I'll find those things as I go through and we'll talk about stuff at the end. But today's show, obviously we did a Trendy Tuesday. And again, I mentioned this at the outset. I'm trying to do some more interesting things, right? Like I want my channel and this show to be more, some education, of course. I'm never going to stop teaching or whatever, but I want it to be fun, And I thought, man, if I go out there daily paycheck every day, if I take my coffee run every day, and every day it's the same old thing, I do a 1600 cross, whatever it's going to be, Dallas drawdown, y'all are going to fall asleep. I can't do the same thing every day. That worked great to build the bankroll up. I think if I was doing this for real in a casino, a real daily paycheck coffee run, I would do the drawdown because that thing just freaking works, right? But for our purposes here, I thought, man, let's just do different stuff. It'll give me a chance to play different styles. It'll give me a chance to highlight different things. Like, for example, tomorrow's Hybrid Wednesday, right? Hump day, hybrid hump day. Tomorrow I'll do Jacob's thing, right? I might do the Headless Horseman on Wednesdays because it's a hybrid. I might do the 3-point dolly on a Monday. It's a math-based way to play, right? We may find, and I'll try and bring in some laddering systems. I'll do some Wayland stuff. I'll do some of the Casino Quest stuff. I'll try different things out on different days just to give you a sense of like, okay, can I make a paycheck doing this? Like today's a good example, right? We had a point of 5. I got 3 box hits, pulled the bets down, the 5 hits, and you're out looking like King Henry, right? Right side craps don't work that way, right? Today we got a good run, right? We threw the dice well enough, got a good run, and Bob's your uncle. That's not normal, right? But every Tuesday when I play that way, you're gonna go, okay, I'm gonna lose it sometimes. I'm gonna have to go into my rack, maybe sometimes 3 shooters deep to make it back. Had I lost on that first shooter, instead of being up 500, we'd have been down 500. And guess what? The win goal now is not $500. Now I'm gonna win 1,000, right? When you go down, it increases the complexity of what you got to do, and especially from the right side, it's pretty hard to catch the perfection, right? So hopefully you'll see that over the course of the next month, 2 months, and we'll see how we like it. If we like playing different styles every day, you let me know as we do it, and I'll change or whatever as we go along. And I say this, yeah, the comparison demos, player 1, I like that too. The problem, Jen, is me with that. I liked doing that. The problem that I have is that twofold. One is I'm shooting from the right side of my table. So to deal it, I got to lean over. Again, I'm old, whatever, right? It gets to be confusing if I deal it wrong, and it takes away from what I'm trying to do. So I think what I might do is a little bit of strict paycheck, and then shooter 2 or whatever, I'll do a little comparison. I think that's I love doing that. I really do. I think when I'm in paycheck mode, though, I might want to stick with 1 so I don't screw it up. And then we'll go ahead and have fun and do 2 things. I'd agree, though. This versus that is great. It's really, really cool. Matter of fact, tier pressure versus like the 66 or the 66 versus the squeeze play or whatever you want to call it, right? Great stuff. We can even do like a 6-8 ladder versus a regular across play. But there's all sorts of things we can do versus this versus that, especially on a Tuesday where it's more wide open. I just don't want to screw up and make a mistake early on. So anyway, good suggestion. I appreciate it. Glad you liked that because it's actually pretty fun. Tom Marcos says good bankroll. A good strike is a minimal loss when it doesn't get the numbers, right? The problem with the drawdown, which I love me some drawdown, is if you don't get the numbers you need, it's a big ass loss, right? When you're laddering, you're starting super low, right? Your losses early aren't that bad. The losses in laddering compound if you don't get the right run, right? But your starting point is low. My starting point is typically high. So if I get beat, I get punched in the face, right? And I have to be okay with that, I guess, right? Yeah, double drawdown, good comparison. All right, so Thursday throwdown. Maybe that's what it is, Papa Chuck. Maybe Thursday's a throwdown. Maybe Thursday is comparison day. See, you and Jen working together. I like that. Maybe it's throwdown Thursday. Maybe Thursday's the one day I do competition. Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. That's great. That is great. We'll do that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It'll be math ways, trendy ways, hybrid ways. Thursday, I love it. I love the Thursday throwdown. Friday follies, we have the week plan. See that? This is why it's a team effort. Awesome. Man, that's great. Cool. Gamble smart. I want to make sure I put this out here. Gamble smart is an important thing, not the channel. Now the channel, by the way, Gamble smart is a good one. I have not talked to these guys yet. I'd like to talk to them at some point about doing a live on Casino Gaming TV. Gamble smart is they're a slots channel. And it's not your typical watch me play slots and win $1 million channel like the rest of them are. These guys are like Casino Quest. They're casino employees, right? Actually, I think he's a former employee now, but the guy who runs that channel is a slot tech. He has written the code for slot machines. He has worked on the hardware for slot machines. He's installed them. He owns them. He's built them. Guy knows slot machines, right? So his channel is kind of like the John of slots. How to play smart, how to pick the right machine, right? If there is such a thing. Like, he talks about machine placement. He talks about a lot of things on that channel that are very interesting. And again, from a guy who actually builds them and knows how the random number generators really work, right? So he's got great channel. Anyway, I say gamble smart here, so I want you to gamble smart, okay? And here's the deal. There is, as you know, I'm going to be at Casino Quest working with David. I'm learning how to deal. and I'm doing the seminars with them. And a big part of that, you'll find that if you watch Casino Quest now, as opposed to what they've done over the years, they're not just pushing out a bunch of random ass strategies, right? And all the strategies that they run are things that people send them. They aren't like the way that we play. They're people send them in a strategy, they give it a shot. That's kind of how they work it, right? Almost like what Jeremy does, but they're just doing it from a different perspective. Anyway, their messaging is changing, right? They released a system called the Bridge. It's not a betting system. The Bridge is like a comprehensive bankroll, right? Ways to play with leverage, ways to understand your money, your risk tolerance, things I've been talking about for the last 3 years, right? I've been talking about being a good gambler is not what you're doing on the table. Being a good gambler is here, right? And it's your bankroll and how you use it all together. They're starting to teach that now. They're starting to get into this comprehensive thing. And the way that they're teaching it is for the purposes of not having you go out there and win $1 million. Not having to go out there and win a daily paycheck like I do. I'm super conservative, right? They're doing it under the pretense of, let's have you come to Vegas and let's have you enjoy the experience. If you're bringing X dollars to gamble with, here's the safest ways to do it that are also fun, that also give opportunity for a big win. You're not going to get destroyed. You may hit a home run, but you're not going to walk away deflated because you lost your life savings. Like, they want you to have the best experience, and that includes the right casino, finding a host, getting a good room, where the good food is, understanding the rules of all the games, understanding from me the math of all the games, understanding how to work it, right? How to be a smart gambler. That's what their messaging is morphing into, which is a good thing, right? That's a good thing. They are dealers. Most dealer channels, as you watch them, you watched Sin City, some of the other guys that are dealers that have channels, they're largely degenerates, right? Dealers like to go for the ceiling, right? That's the way that those guys think and play. The Casino Quest crew is coming around and being like, hey, you know what? That's true. Opportunities where you make the big money, but at the same time, gamble smart, enjoy your time in Vegas. It is a vacation. Make sure that you're playing in ways that's going to protect your bankroll, but give you opportunity. That's the messaging now, right? So I say gamble. I'm going to echo that message whenever I can. Gamble smart, right? Be smart with your money. You know me. I'm the most conservative player out here. I know I play wild and crazy sometimes on my table when I'm showing stuff off, but in real life, I'm very conservative. I'm happy with a 10, 15% win, right? If I can win 10, 15% on every shooter or every session at the table, I'll last all weekend. And that's typically how I do things. I think that's the messages that are coming through there. So gamble smart. There's also a little bit of, this probably, I know there's a little bit of drama between the Casino Quest folks and Waylon. Try and stay out of the noise, right? That's between those guys. There's interesting, I've talked to both people, right? There's interesting stuff there. There's always misunderstandings and hurt feelings when these things go on. Again, I don't want to get involved in other people's drama, but trust me, Waylon's a great guy. Love Waylon. He's a smart dude. He comes up with strategies that nobody else does because he tries to outthink the game, and he's very interesting. His stuff requires massive bankroll most of the time to ladder up, and you got to know that, right? I also say this, practice it before you take a strategy that you see Waylon do, or me do, or Jeff do, or Gargoyle is going to show you his 640 across strategy. Before you take anything to the casino and put your money on the table, you got to practice it, right? Do it in Crapsy along with the live guys exactly the way you would do it with your real life money. If you're not going out there with black chip size bets to ladder in real life, don't do it in Crapsy. Do it in Crapsy with red chips. If that's the kind of bettor you are. If you're a bubble craps guy, do it with dollars. Practice, practice, practice. Know, and I mean practice hundreds of shooters, hundreds of results, hundreds of bankrolls. Take a $5,000 bankroll or a $1,000 bankroll, whatever the strategy you're working with requires you to do, and do it 1,000 times. Don't just go, oh, that's cool, and run off to Vegas with 5K and light it on fire. You got to work it, right? People call me the strategy killer. It's not that. I've worked these things so many times. I have found where they win. I have seen them all lose because I'm not afraid to sit here and do a 410 ladder or the pass line parlay that I love, or the tier pressure, 100, 200, 500 separate times to see where its holes are, right? And know if I'm willing to risk it, if I'm willing to put real money behind it. Do not put real money behind something you haven't tried, and practice the crap out of it. Gamble smart. That's a big piece of it, right? You're not going to get better at the strategy by practicing it. You're going to see the strategy for its true colors. You get 1,000 trials in a strategy, you're going to know, okay, this thing wins, about 60% of the time. Is that worth my vacation money versus something that wins 70% of the time? You got to find that out for yourselves. Gamble smart, please practice like crap. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about DI, and here's the deal. Now, this is wrong. For some reason, this morning I typed in the number and it didn't change. It says I'm 9-3 still. We should be 10-3 after this morning's thing. Our profit should be about 5,500, not 55,000, and the average should be 629. That'll go down a little bit because today's room is smaller. I was going to retype this as I go. The thing is, this screen is kind of pre-baked from yesterday. So this is as of yesterday. Here's where we are. Today's numbers, of course, change it. So I got to figure out how to make this screen more dynamic so you can see the real numbers. But yeah, we're 10-3, a little over 75%. Made some good money, which is makes me happy. So 9-3 is about 2.5 weeks of work if you're in a casino. 3-4 day weeks, right? Made your money for the month, take the week off, right? If you're doing that. Anyway, I'll keep tabs here for us. We'll always know where we are, and I'll try and make this segment a little quicker. Reviewing what happened is sometimes fun. Today was not, was whatever. I threw seven rolls and they all paid, and we did our thing. So, all right, daily dose of DI. I know that Nemo's talking about stuff in chat. We've talked about randomness yesterday, and actually, what I said in this segment yesterday, talking about quote unquote Randy, sparked a comment from Myopia Movie, JB, my good friend. And, I told you guys before, JB and I haven't talked in a while, and I really miss him. I mean, here's I'll give you a here's the deal. And maybe this here's the deal today is going to be a life, not a craps one. There are people in your life that you encounter, and I believe with all my heart, all the faith I have, God puts people in front of you for reasons. God puts people in your life for a reason. Sometimes they're additive. Sometimes they add something to you that you didn't know you needed, right? And you didn't have. Sometimes they put them in your life so you can add to them, okay? And what I find is that in my life particularly, a lot of people that get added into my life that I come across I think we're good for each other in different ways, but a lot of the people aren't good for, like I'm friends with Waylon, I'm friends with David. They don't get along now. I'm friends with Gargoyle. I'm friends with JB. They certainly don't get along, right? I'm friends with Ed. I'm friends with JB. They don't get along. I have other friends that are craps playing friends that do not like each other, right? I can't help that. I can't get into their drama, but I will tell you this. Sometimes they're there to just be a weeble, a worm in your head sometimes, right? I think I do that to JB a little bit. Yesterday I did that. I talked about Randy. I don't like calling people Randys. I think it's a negative thing. There's no reason to put somebody down you don't even know because of how they throw the freaking dice. That's stupid, right? I think every throw is random. Every throw is random, and even if you're a DI, if you're influencing the dice, you're influencing the random out of them. Okay, now here's today's topic. Okay, is there such a thing as degrees or levels of randomness? And I will tell you the answer to that before I even start is no. Okay, and here's what I mean. I'm gonna break out the big foamy dice here. Okay, I think you can see them okay on my rack. Here's the thing. Let's say that I'm awesome. Let's say that I'm going to set the five. Actually, I'll set the fives. The fives? Yeah, we'll do the fives. Okay, where's my 4? All right, we'll do this. The hard way set. 5, like that. Okay, let's say I'm awesome at the chopper. You know the chopper, right? I stack them like this, right? So I look at the 5s from on top, and whatever. Let's just say that I can 100% of the time, 100% of the time, say the bottom die is going to stick and it's going to be a 5 every single time, which means what? I still have, what's my chance of getting a 7 over here? What is my chance of getting a 7 on this die? In chat, you can probably put it out there, right? It's still 1 in 6. The 2 is always going to be there, right? I haven't reduced my chance of getting a 6, right? What I have done, though, is this. And this is what I was trying to say yesterday. I'm not reducing the randomness, okay? If I can control the dice to the point where they trickle in so slowly and they bounce so slowly and they don't roll over a bunch of times, and I can guarantee, let's say, because of that, one die is always going to work. Always going to be that one, right? What have I done? I've reduced the number of possible combinations, right? And I think I misspeak sometimes. I say, yeah, we're going to reduce the randomness or whatever. What I've done, if I can do that, if I can influence that piece of the die, right? If a person throwing the standard throw can stay, quote unquote, on axis, right? What have they done? They've removed, in this hardways case, the 1s and the 6s. They've taken them out of the possible combinations, right? In my case, right, I only have 6 numbers I can get, right? If I can stick a 5 and make one die is going to be, I can't tell what this one's going to be. I've reduced the possible combinations to 6, right? I can only get things that can be made with a 5, right? I can only get a 1, 5, a 2, 5, a 3, 5, a 4, 5, a 5, 5, or a 6, 5. That's all I can get. I've taken some possibilities out of the 36 combinations. I've gone from 36 ways for the dice to land or the dice to show me a result down to 6 ways to see a result. And the 6 ways that I'm left with, one of them is a 7, right? I got 1 7, I got a 6 5 yo, and I got 4 box numbers. So 4 out of 6 are going to be payable numbers for me. Okay, that's what I've done. I've reduced it down to that level. Now, is that any different than when both dice are totally random? When both dice are totally random, right? 1 out of 36. Or 6 out of 36 is a 7. It's the same. 1 out of 6, 6 out of 36. There's no difference there, right? How many horn numbers would I have? I have 1 horn number in my result set. In real life, there's 6 horn numbers. It's still the same 1 out of 6, right? It's the same ratio, right? My box numbers are down to 4 combinations. Now, if I can say this die could be a 5 or a 2, right? If I could flip it one or the other, now I've got 14 combinations, right? I've still removed some numbers from the deck. I've removed some combinations. I can't get a 6 or a 1 if I stick a 5 or a 2, right? I can't get a 3 or a 4 on that die either, right? By taking numbers away from one of the die or both of the die. Now look, in my case, if I'm chopper tossing, right, and I'm perfect, and I can only get 2 5s, 2 2s, a 5 2, right, or a 2 5, I've taken everything out. And all I can get is a 4, a 10, or a 7, right? And I've made it worse in that case. Sometimes removing combinations is good for you, right? The people who are on the par method or the on-axis style tossing, right? They pick dice sets that have quote unquote fewer 7s when you stay on axis, because if they do that, by taking faces away, the intent is remove combinations from the 36 possible. Let's take 4 of them away that would have been 7s and leave ourselves with 32 combinations, only 2 of which are 7s. That's where the goal is, right? You could do that backwards though, right? You could remove all the 6s, right, by the way your dice land, and have more 7s possible. You can do it the opposite, right? People think that, oh, DI is going to be removing 7s. You can certainly do it where you've screwed it up. In my case, if I have both dice stick on the 5s or the 2s, half of my combinations are 7s. I have a 50% chance of getting a 7, not a 16% chance of getting a 7. So by removing combinations, I can make it worse for myself, not better for myself. It's important to know that, right? All that to say, it's still random. As soon as one die goes off kilter, I'm random. Whether one die worked perfectly or not, the other die I can't control, it's random. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know that I'm sniping numbers, right? I think it's important to understand this. I'm trying to influence the action. I'm trying to influence how active the faces are, right? How many combinations I can leave I want to leave myself with as few combinations as I can. I want it to go from 36 to 12, 36 to 9, whatever the number of combinations is if I can, and hopefully praying a little bit that in so doing, I take a couple of 7 combinations away, right? If I can remove a couple 7s out of the mix, and I can get, 2 out of 14 could be a 7, I've helped myself, right? I'm going to be a random result anyway. But if I can hide a couple faces in such a way that 2 out of the 14 possibles are 7s instead of, 2 out of 12, I've helped myself. That's what the dream is. That's why we do this, right? And so the answer to the question is no. You cannot remove randomness. You cannot make things less random. What you can do with dice is, based on your action, hopefully influence them in such a way that you remove some combinations from the 36. You make from the 36 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 of the combinations not possible to happen. And you're praying that when you do that, the combinations you removed are ones that would have been 7s. What's left is still going to be random. You're not sniping numbers. You're still left with a random result from the combinations that are left. You're hoping you remove good ones. You're hoping that, hoping against hope that they're good, right? That's why when I'm analyzing what I see with my toss, I pick different dice sets based on that, right? I'll go to this set, the 6-2 stack, right? I'll do that one a lot. That one actually, by the way, it's a 3V, right? But to you, it's a 6. To me, it's a 6-2. To you, it's a 3V, right? When we see it, that's one of the sets I go to. My other favorite set, as you know, is a 4 and a 1. Okay, the 4-1 set, by the way, is a 2V. It's just that it's up on its side, right? I'll switch to those sets if I see the bottom die seems to be doing okay, not rolling around a lot, right? If good, the bottom die's doing good, it's not rolling around a whole lot, I'll put the 4 on bottom like that and say maybe the bottom die is a 4 or a 3 if it's kind of being like nice. That removes horn numbers. Can't get a horn number with the 4 or 3. I'll do that to get off the horn and say, okay, now I'll take my chances over here with the second die not being the match, okay? And if I have the 1 or the 6 on that one, right? If that die happens to stick, there's not going to be a 7. I'm hoping to remove the right stuff, right? I can't remove randomness. I can't decrease the amount of random. I can decrease the number of combinations. Okay, you're still facing randomness within the combinations, and that's an important thing to remember. Do not fool yourself into thinking that you're reducing the amount of random. It's very, very important. Okay, so and I want to make that clear because I was going to write back to JB in the comments, but I wanted to address it this morning. I'm not saying that because mathematics are mathematics. You cannot make, unless you're sniping a number every single time, you can't remove randomness, but you can remove combinations, which may thicken the number of 7s or it may loosen the number of 7s. That's the dream. That's the only thing. And honestly, for me, it's comfort and rhythm. I throw the dice the way I throw them because it's comfortable. It's rhythm, keeps me thinking, and it makes me enjoy it more, right? I wouldn't do a thing without trying to be good at it. I play Frisbee golf now. I play real golf, but I practice all the time. Right? I don't do things that I can't get better at. And even if I can't get better at DI because of this thinking back wall, it's a pursuit that I enjoy. And it's fun. It's fun to play the game, even if you know you can't win the game. I said it yesterday, if 50% of my throws are bullshit, and 50% is a lot. If 50% of my throws are what I would call perfect, that means half my throws are pure random. Half my throws are pure garbage. Right? Pure random. Don't know what's going to happen, right? Half my throws are in that influence category where I've taken some of the combinations away. Of those half, I may be screwing myself and putting more 7s into the dice than I thought, right? I may be making my other 50 throws worse based on dice set, based on whatever. It's possible, right? The hope is that I'm not. The hope is that those 50% are 10% better than random, meaning 5 of the 50 that would have been sevens are now sixes or fives. That's the dream. That's the dream. If I get half my throws perfect and 10% of my perfect ones are not sevens, are taking sevens away, boom, that would be the dream. And even that dream, I can't monetize. I can't make the rent on that one. It's just cool to be able to do it, right? So there we go. Alrighty, that's my thing. Now, here's the deal for today. I'm going to come back to Q&A final thoughts. I want to ask you this. Two things. First of all, here's the deal for today is this. And I want you to consider this. And if you're a YouTuber, I'd love your response. So all you guys that have channels, listen up. Put videos out in response to this. And we'll start getting into it more and more here once a week. But think about what I said to start that segment, right? I got good friends that don't like each other. We know this, right? I have people that come in and out of my life, right? I think JB added a lot to me. JB taught me a ton about math statistics. He still likes to jab me, which is good because it brings me back and it makes me think, right? He adds a lot to me. I think I like to add a lot. I like to think I add a lot back to him too, with regards of talks like today. Like, here's the reason why I think the way I think. It may be mathematically wrong, but here's the reasons why. I want him to see how somebody who does have common sense and logic works through problems, right? I'm a problem solver. Who in your life does that, right? I can point to Ed, Gargoyle. These guys are like, we talk all the time, and I'm like, man, I'm getting something all the time. I hope I'm giving something back. Who's that reciprocal relationship that you've got? Who are you adding to, right? Who's God put in front of you that you've added to for the purposes of you adding to them? And who has God given you that's added back to you? I want you to consider that, right? Here's the deal, right? The purpose-driven life, what is it for you? And think about that as it relates to craps, not just in your whole world, but think about it in our kind of spectrum, okay? Now, the question in front of you is this. Should I replay Chiro's questions? I've got all of them, right? I did a montage of the Here's the Deal stuff way back. We can get to all of them. I can download all the videos. I can replay them. Should this segment once a week be me replaying Chiro's original Here's the Deal video, and then we all react to it? Or should I make this Here's the Deal segment things we have with ourselves, right? Things you want to know. I kind of want to go pull his old videos out and play them for you so he gives you the question and then we can all react. I would love to see that. What do you think? What do you think about that answer? I'm gonna actually in chat put that in there. Put it in chat. What do y'all think we should do here? I think bringing him back into the fold would be something I would love to do. I don't know if it's appropriate, right? I loved the Here's the Deal segments. I miss them terribly. Miss him terribly, obviously. And I think it'd be kind of a cool tribute to bring him back, but I don't know if you would like that or not. So what do you think? What do you guys think? Overthinking Craps, Nemo says, Here's the Deal should be replayed, and we can do some of each for sure. Do you think it's bad if I bring the videos back? That's really the question. Should I bring them? Is it wrong to bring them back? Louis can relate Craps to my expertise in accident reconstruction. Now you were in accident reconstruction as a police officer, correct, Lou? I someday we have to talk about that. My the guy that I mentioned yesterday, my brother-in-law, who's now going to some PTSD therapy, was doing that. He went from being in the military, he was a Marine. He was a tank commander in the Marines in the first Gulf War. You can imagine, right? Came back stateside, got to be a cop. He was a state trooper, and he was doing fatality investigations. That was kind of his thing. So that guy has seen some stuff, man, for sure. All right, Lou, I'm going to go to the questions and answers. So Lou says here, I'm kind of going through things. Truly randomness. Where's my mouse? The mouse goes away sometimes. He says, therefore, truly randomness only applies to the production of an outcome absent from the influence of any external factor. Is that like a real definition there? Hey, Tony's here too, by the way. Hey, Tony, good morning, man. Glad to see you on a live here. Let's see. Hop the combos that include the 5. You're talking about the hopping stuff. I'm just going through here. Yeah, there you go, Tony. I do this. By the way, I run that every Friday. Every Friday I do the hopping thing. I call it hopping mad. I'm hopping ones, but whatever you want to hop. If you're throwing them, right? That you create, and that's an influence thing, right? If you can make that happen, you make that happen. I think it's fun. I do it every Friday morning because it's fun. Anyway, that's what I got for you all day. I got to get out of here. It's 8 o'clock. The flooring guy is going to be here in about 15 minutes, about 8:30 or so. So I got to get him settled in. He's putting the flooring in. Probably no show tomorrow. The basement's going to be new hardwoods. It's all the leveling's got to cure and all that stuff. I can't walk on it for a day, so I probably won't be here tomorrow. If I am, it'll be upstairs. Bob, I did see the math question come through my email this morning. I'll check that out. We'll talk about it tomorrow's show, if not when I get back. And Louis says, keep Churro Spirit alive. Thank you, sir. I agree. I think I would like to do that. I'm going to ask Crystal what she thinks. And, if she's okay with it, well, I think we should do it. It seems like you guys are okay with it. Louis said that's why you practice the mechanics and use dice sets to pertain to the individual. Yeah. Like I said, my whole goal with the DI stuff is to, again, I'm trying to find ways. And if you watch, go way back. There's a video I put out called The Power of the Seven. It's like my third video ever. This goes back to COVID times. When I first started the channel, I put a video out called Respect the Seven. And this is before I even knew that DI was a thing. And I'm fully transparent here, right? I played craps for 30 years. Didn't know that DI was a thing. I thought that people setting dice were just superstitious. I had no idea what was going on, right? I didn't care. I was more of the, God, can we just get on with it mentality? After COVID, I've started doing videos, right? I put a video out called The Power of the Seven. And what I said in the video, if you watch the video, I talk about how the combinations work, right? How, every other die always has the answer to the other one to make a seven. I talk about this in the video. I'm like, I try and throw soft enough to try and remove some of that, right? If this die lands on a 5 over here, right? Or this die here is on a 5, then on the second die, right? If we can find a way to make it only roll off the back wall, hit the back wall, and only roll over one time, right? Then I only have one face is possible, not all 6. I kept saying that, like, if we can just make it so one face works, or maybe it rolls over, a couple of times, right? Then you have 2 faces that can match to this, not all 6. If it's rolling all cattywampus, all 6 faces have a chance, right? If you can make it so only 2 faces have a chance, I thought that's taking combinations away. My words back then were we can reduce the randomness. I was wrong. That's not reducing randomness. That's removing combinations. Now, I could remove 4 combinations if the die only rolls over 1-2 times, right? The 2 combinations that are left visible, one of them could be the match, and I made it make my 7 possibility worse, right? That's a possibility. My theory has always been treat the dice easy, remove possibilities from matching this thing up. That's always what I thought. Most of my life, I thought that. I didn't know DI was a thing. Then I started watching DI videos. I'm like, okay, now I see how they're doing it. Now I'm trying to make that happen, right? That's what this all is for me. It's not about sniping 9s all day long. It's about, can I make the one die, like, not bounce around like a crazy person and take some combinations away. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I like the chopper so much, because I can throw them softly enough to most of the time make one of those die only do this or only do that, right? That's most of the time I can get there. That's why I like the throw. I may make it worse for myself, and I'm down with that, right? And that's my intent. It's a way for me to do what I always thought was kind of possible. Whether or not I make it worse for myself is immaterial. Like I said, it was a way to put mechanics behind my initial thinking. Watch that video. Go watch it. Called The Power of the Seven. And again, it's not even DI. It's just me thinking through how rough that number is and how hard it is to beat it. So anyway, that's it. I got to get out of here. Let the floor guy in here in a few minutes. Guys are awesome. Appreciate the chats. Appreciate y'all being here. Yeah, Tom says, thanks, friends. We need to keep Churro alive. Yeah, good. You guys are awesome. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow for a hybrid Wednesday. If I am allowed down in the basement. If not, I'll see you Thursday. So with that said, God bless every one of you. Love y'all. Y'all friends of mine. Again, we all add to each other. Some of you guys are going to be like this, and I can't help that. It's not my job to fix your relationships, but trust me, everybody's in this for the right reason, right? JB's got a story to tell with his math for sure, right? Gargoyle's got a story to tell with his overcoming what he overcame, the way he plays and throws. Ed's got a story to tell. Waylon's got a story to tell. Waylon's story is very interesting, and David's got a story to tell. All of them in their own ways, not always meshing together, give a shit about you. They all care about you. They all want you to be safe. They all want you to win money. They all want you to have a good time. They all want you to be better. They all do. They may just not speak well to each other or the same languages. Tony Leo in the audience wants you to win. We all want you to win, right? But everybody's not going to be meshing all the time, and that has to be okay. That has to be okay. All right, get out of here. Have a great Tuesday. I will see you hopefully tomorrow, if not for sure on Thursday. I'm out. Bye.